So I'm in the office. It is a tiny office that we have, and it's really crowded. We're in the Portland area, so you can see kind of behind me and through the window. We've had some snow. Not so much snow as ice. There's a nice thick layer of ice and a little bit of snow, and then another thick layer of ice out there. So we knew, and it's been in like the 20s, mid 20s. So we knew the cold snap was coming. Didn't have a ton of faith in the snow, but it came too. Knew the cold snap was coming. So you saw in my last video some of the stuff that we did to prepare our animals. We brought the bunnies inside. They're actually not in the office. One animal is not in the office. And then we brought the quail inside as well. And then I had ordered some baby Texas A&M quail from somebody local, and I was going to wait until after the cold snap to pick them up. I didn't want to risk, driving in the ice, and Mike's totally fine with that. I get a lot of anxiety about driving. So anyway, we're gonna wait till after. Well, then because of all the ice, branches fell, power lines fell. We were fine here, but the people that had hatched out our quail lost power, and so it can be hard to figure out ways to keep them warm. You got these newly hatched chicks, and quail especially need like 95 degrees temperatures in their first weeks of life. And so Mike went and picked them up. And I also told, these aren't people that I've ever met before. I found them on Craigslist. But they had other chicks too, and then they had an issue with their barn and some trees falling on it and access to their other birds. So they were just having a really crappy day yesterday. But I had offered to babysit their other chicks and ducks. We also already had, I think you saw in one of my last, I only have 2 other videos so far, but I think one of them showed the 3 baby Easter eggers that we got. So we had those 2. And luckily my order of 10 baby ducklings was delayed, so that won't be here till the end of the month. So I told them that I would watch their babies since we had power while they were, waiting for their power to come back on and getting their other stuff taken care of. And who doesn't want to play with like baby chicks and ducks all day? So anyway, so I sent Mike off to pick up lots of baby birds. And then the people were really nice and sent like all sorts of like tubs and shavings and food and some brooding heaters and all sorts of stuff. But I wanted to do a homemade brooder for when we get our other ducklings, and I wanted to do a video about it. And then just because our office is so small, I switched these guys into these homemade brooders to help everybody fit better. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we made the homemade brooders out of just stuff we have around the house. Granted, everybody doesn't have as much stuff around the house as we might, but it's still pretty simple supplies and easy to do. So I'm going to show you a bit about who is currently in my office. Okay, so normal resident of the office is Tank. He's our sulcata tortoise. Spends a lot of time outside during the warmer months. But during the colder months he's in here. And he's super dusty, and so he gets this little clear shower curtain. And I'm gonna have to put something over here. I don't know why I don't have it. He's probably still in here. We have found him roaming the house every now and again. Hey buddy, Tank. He doesn't come to his name. He is quite interactive actually. But maybe he's mad at me? I don't know. So that's it. Tank is a normal office resident. Does everybody have a tortoise in their closet? No? Just us? Okay, so the quail we brought in, these guys are gonna be hard to see. I don't wanna freak them out. Get close, they start bonking their heads. So we've got some Cotronyx, I think we've got some jumbos in here and the Celadon in here. We've got one Celadon in here, and then the snow quail. The reason the Celadon is in with them is because they were all hatched at the same time, and that was the only celadon egg that hatched. I can't see his beak from here, but he had a hard time hatching. The other celadon eggs didn't hatch. You can see his beak is super crisscross beak. He can eat and drink fine, so it doesn't like mess with him too much, but it's way twisted. And that's just an issue from how they develop in the egg. Also just found out that he's a he. I wonder if he's gonna do it now, because I'm sitting here. Because he's been crowing the last couple mornings that I've had him in the house. Finding his voice. Huh. I know that beak looks awful, buddy. But he really does. He eats and drinks just fine, so quality of life is just fine. And then up here, from those people too, these guys are really kind of timid, so I'm sorry, babies. I don't know how to... I got a male and female adult button quail. Okay, I'll leave you alone. They're very flighty right now. I don't want to freak them out. So that is our quail. So they're all typically outside. And I just brought them in because it's cold. Here's the baby chicks. So we had our 3 Easter eggers, and then they just had a barnyard mix. And so that just means kind of like all the things. Could be anything. They're so cute. I just love baby chicks. That one with the black spot on its head, that's one of the ones that we already had. So the one coming up next to it. And there's one more that looks just like that somewhere around here. Oh, I think right there. Yes, hello. Say hello. All right, and then, oh wait, there's more. So here's one of the homemade brooders that we're making on this video also. And then here's the other one that we did. And in here, so I split them up because there's 14 baby ducks. And so I split them up. I can do this without throwing the light. It's really hard one-handed when you're trying to hold other stuffs. Okay. Oh goodness, boy, I hurt everybody. So, this is half the baby ducks. Hi, baby duckies. Hi, baby duckies. I love how they turn their heads to look up at you. Or bigger ducks outside. I love it when they hear an airplane in the sky. They turn their heads sideways like that to watch the plane. They're super fun. So yeah, this is half the ducks. There's like 14 ducks. About as many baby chicks. And the quail. Why are you sleeping in your food? They're all happy because we finally figured out the system to get them all warm and cozy. So Texas A&M quail, teeny tiny little babies. I kept going back and forth with their water dish, but I found more marbles, so I went back to this water dish. Hi, babies. So you can tell they're all happy because they're just kind of happily moving around the brooder doing whatever chicky things rather than like all huddled together in one spot to get warm. So that means they're good, warm enough, happy. So that's who's in our teeny tiny office right now. I'll show you how to build just kind of a simple brooder if you are bringing home chicks. So simple stuff that you probably have around the house, or at least if you're us, you do. So big plastic tub, storage tub. This was a failed worm bin, so it was outside, a little dirty, but it'll do. Wipe it down. We've got some hardware cloth, and duct tape, wire cutters, and a box cutter. So we will show you what we're gonna do to turn this into a brooder. We're gonna take off the lid, and we're gonna take the box cutter and cut out a portion of this lid. All right, so this is all cut. You wanna be careful if you are using hardware cloth. It's super duper sharp. Yeah, it's very sharp. So we're gonna lay this over the hole. Thomas, will you show them about how much coverage we have? We have it over the top so that even if our tape doesn't hold, it's not going to fall through or fall in on the chicks. So honestly, I mean, you don't have to do the tape or attach it, but because it's so sharp, I just want to do that to kind of as added thing, I guess. So we're gonna put the duct tape around there. I cleaned it. It might not look like it, but I did do my best to clean the surface so the tape will have stick well to that. All right, so that is all duct taped on there, ready to go. So I'm gonna do another video, kind of switch over and show you how I'm gonna set this up for the baby chicks and put them in there, and it'll be all set and done. All right, so here's our homemade brooder. I'm gonna take off the lid and show you how I set it up. Now this brooder is gonna be for ducklings. So this is just a used meal prep container, yay for recycling. And then I'm gonna put their water dish up on top of that to make sure it's nice and stable. The reason I do that is because all baby birds love to just fill their water with shavings, and it's a huge pain trying to keep the shavings out of the water. So I put it up on something. I've also seen people use a container like this, and then you can put wire on top of it and set the water on there, so anything that spills will kind of go down into here instead of your shavings. And that is also nice. I don't feel like I have enough room to do that in this one with as many ducklings as we have though. And then I have their feeder up here, small pellets in it for them. And then you just need adorable baby duckies. Look at that. Check out them new kids. Yeah. These are Khaki Campbell ducklings.
Come here, babies.
I don't even know how many we have in here.
Come here.
Oh, we're quick, are we? So cute. Come here, guys. You'll like it better in here, I promise. Let's try. They've made their current brooder a mess. So it's also nice to have something like this just on hand for brooder cleanings too, where you can set them in something else to clean out the other one. So we're making a few of these so we can do just that. Now this is going to be too many ducklings for them to be in here for too long together, so we'll probably split these guys into 2 of these brooders. Thomas is making another one right now, and then that should hold them for a bit. If we're at about half that, what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I think. 14 baby ducks. So yeah, I think 7 and 7 might be better. And the size of a brooder. And yeah, this is just, this is what we had on hand. It's a good sized tub. I find it really nice and manageable, so I think that's what we'll do. It's easy to move around when we need to. So yeah, then you'll just put the lid on, and we'll have the heat lamp sit right here. And I will probably do it a little more Well, I'll probably do it right about here. You want them to have a warm side and a cool side. And then I just use a temp gun like this to check the temperatures on, you know, kind of all over the place. Every now and again, make sure everything's staying where it should be. So that is our homemade, if I can open it, our little homemade duck brooder for these khaki Campbells. Look how cute they are. Oh. Itching for spring, and all the baby birdies itching for spring, huh? Okay, so this is one of the totes that came with them. And they also sent a couple of these awesome little heaters. So these ones get warm underneath, and baby birds can go under there to stay warm. It's a little bit big for this tote, but they don't get super hot, so I'm not worried about it melting plastic or anything like that. I'm gonna put the quail in this tote for now because it's the smallest tote, and the ducks and chicks need the bigger ones. So we've got them a water as well. Because this is so open for the water, I'm going to put some little marbles in there. I'm gonna have to go get some more marbles, but you want to put marbles in there so they don't drown in their water. I ground up some quail game bird feed to make it smaller, since the chicks are just hatched little babies. So we'll put that in there. And we'll move them in a little temporary one. Oh, no jumping. No jumping. Look at how tiny these babies are. These are the Texas A&M quail. They'll be white when they're big. So cute. Come here, little jumping beans. These look. They're so cute. You can't go up there. Out of the water. And that's why we put marbles in their water. Hey, out of the water. I also don't want them to get wet and cold. I might opt for a different water dish. Instead for now. So what I had before was just this little, I had thyme in it. It's a little canning lid. And I had it full of the marbles. Do that, and then I'll fill that with water for them. And this other one is just too big. I don't want them to get all wet and cold. So I'll fill that with water. I'll bring some water and put it into there for them. They'll sleep under there to get warm. Quail need to be a little bit warmer than chickens and baby ducks do. And then for here, since this one didn't come with a lid, you just gotta go the other way. I will put this over it. So this is just a divider for a wire dog kennel. And so I will just set that over it for now. But they do, as they get bigger, quail do fly and they jump pretty high. So we'll get a lid made out of that 1/4 inch hardware cloth here pretty quick. And that's how we'll set up the quail. So, sort of surprised I'm still married, but I am. Maybe because it's Valentine's Day, I got away with it. I'm not sure. But I did. So we'll see what happens with these guys. and just, you know, babysitting for a while and got a full house. We always have a full house, so it's not really new for us. And it's really, really warm in this room with all the heat lamps going on. And I use this little heat gun. Come in here every now and again to, you know, check temps and make sure everybody's good to go. Nobody's getting too hot, too chilled, anything like that. So yeah, that is our crazy filled office right now.